Hey guys, we're working on Jason's rally art today and we're going to change out the tie rod ends. Today's video is brought to you by David. You might recognize his skyline over here that's going to be featured on Roads Untraveled. I'm going to put it in the cards and the link above. If you guys don't know David, he's built this car all himself. He is a mechanic, and he wanted to show me this. That's an actual chassis mounted front splitter. So we're noticing some play in the suspension. We're going to check that right now. And we believe the culprit is the tie rod end, so we're going to change out both sides today. To make our lives easier, we're going to turn the wheel to get more access. The first step is we're going to release this jam nut. Next, we can loosen up the nut that secures the tie rod to the steering knuckle. If you're performing other types of work and you don't need to change these out, we're going to put the nut on there so you don't damage the threads during removal. So we're going to use a ball joint separator. So we technically didn't have to put that nut in there, but we wanted to show you guys that as a rule of practice. That way, if you're doing other types of suspension work, you're not wrecking those threads. Now, it's very important, we just cracked the jam nut. We didn't actually relocate it. So this way we can remove the tie rod end, but we can reassemble it so it's roughly back in the same spot. We still highly recommend that you get an alignment done, but it should be enough in place that we can at least drive this to the alignment shop. Before installing the new part, we want to compare the length, because that's very important when we're doing our installation. If for some reason this was varied in length, we would have to make an adjustment on the nut to get the alignment relatively close. So we went with Moog parts. They're affordable, and just by comparing at least, we don't know the metallurgy, so that's something that we can't compare, but what we can compare is the size of the part and how much beefier everything is on the Moog part. And the nice thing about this is it's serviceable. So this package comes with grease fittings and it's already pre-packed, but we're going to install the grease fittings now because we can reinstall them with it on, and it's much easier to work with them off the car. So for installation, we're going to put on some anti-seize. This is going to make the next part change a lot easier. Now, we haven't adjusted that nut, and our new part is the exact same length, so it's minimal adjustment afterwards. So for installation, we're going to thread it on, but we're actually going back and forth. The reason for that is we want to work the lubricant around so it's much easier to install. So our new part has a castle nut as opposed to the regular nut on the other one, so we're going ahead and we're going to put that fastener on. So what Dave is checking for is that the hole lines up, that way you can put the cotter pin in. Okay, now with the castle nut tightened and the cotter pin in, we can now tighten up the jam nut. For the other side, turn the wheel and just repeat the process. Okay, with everything back together, we can go ahead and check for play. It's looking good. And always make sure to torque the wheels. Now, after performing work like this, it's always a good idea to take the vehicle out for a quick test drive.